What is up? It is Zane here. Today I'm here with
Sasha.
And we're gonna be looking at some of their insane Synthedit modules and ask some crazy questions, so let's go. You got your Synthedit loaded up. I've seen your website before. It's really professional, extremely high quality, well done. And you showcase some of your free modules. So how long have you been into Synthedit?
I started, I think, something about 2005.
Oh, wow.
Then maybe made a pause for several years until I didn't start getting deep into it, maybe around 2010. Then I made another pause about 9 years. I think I joined by accident. I installed the Windows on my Mac so my kid can play games, and after we was fed up with games, I saw there is new version of Synthedit, and since then I'm tracked into the
Okay, so you're a legitimate veteran at this point then.
Yeah, you can say that.
Like, do you have some favorite creations that you've made so far? Because yeah, right now I pretty much just know about what's on your website, like the free module and the SVG Control, but that's pretty much all I really know about your stuff so far.
Yes,
You made that, or what is this?
Yes.
No way you made this synth. No way.
Yeah.
Really? I've made a video on this before. This synth is fire. What the heck?
Yeah.
With Synthedit?
Yeah.
Dang. It looks so quality though. That's why I was like, wow, I'm surprised. This is made with Synthedit, but
Yeah,
man.
you can hear. You can see here.
I see. Why does it sound so good though? Like, is there a lot of special things with this synth, or is this a lot of stock modules? Like,
When I started working on it, I wanted to make a synth that uses most of the standard stuff. But I think to make it a bit more quality, I may use something that is custom made. Let me see how, for instance, oscillators. Yes.
So this is behind the scenes of the GR8 synth?
Yes.
Oh.
For instance, it looks like this one is my custom module. I have a lot of modules that I didn't still shared, uploaded, because they are on 99% done. Always change something and never happy with.
So you have some secret unreleased modules too?
A lot.
Oh, okay.
So this is standard Synthedit oscillator, and you can see how when I play some notes, they're missing frequencies here.
I see, yeah. That's weird.
And because it uses, I think it's band limited, and it's old school method. I think that Jeff made one newer, or see that one is in community. So don't know if you know about community modules.
I need to get those because I'm missing Oscillator HD.
There's a link on the Synthedit.
No,
you will see.
So now it's fixed.
Yeah. And what's great about it is that it doesn't alias at all.
Okay.
If it's naive oscillator, it will also have all frequency, but even more past 20k. That will reflect. It's better to see in pulse. You can see these frequencies like diagonally are reflecting and causing some noise.
Okay. This is pro level right here.
If I play this, you see how it's clear. It doesn't have those unwanted frequencies. Now let me find my. I think I use this one.
Beautiful.
You can see that there are some artifacts, but they're attenuated, so they're almost unmasked by these original frequencies, so it's sounding much better. And I have a new version of that one that has sync mode, which is also anti-aliased. So.
Whoa. So what were you doing to the sound? Is that a filter or something? What is that?
That is sync effect. So one oscillator is synced to the phase of the other one, and now when I play, you can see.
Oh. Yeah, that was really clean. So you've released whole plugins too? Because like GR8 is a really high quality thing. Like that seems like it took a long time to develop maybe. Like do you have other stuff too?
I have some that I created in Reactor, and I have some that I started working a long time ago, so maybe 10 years ago, that I never finished, and now there are some modules missing and stuff like that.
Okay.
I think I first released this is the one, the first that I released.
Oh, I feel like I literally feel like I have this too. Is this a famous synth? This is your plugin too?
Yes.
Holy moly. Do you know how many people have downloaded your stuff before? Like this is a free plugin, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure that I have tracked somewhere how many times it's downloaded.
Because I think a lot of people have used your stuff before. Like I've seen these plugins like in a lot of free collections and just posted on the internet before. So it's really cool.
Yeah, one guy asked me actually yesterday, sent me an email regarding GR8 and asked me about Phutura. Will there be a VST free version? And it works, except this poly to mono switch is broken because something changed with MIDI to CV. So that's the only part that doesn't work. Most of the patches.
Ooh. So this is before GR8 synth, so it's a little older?
Yes, but
okay.
About 10 years old.
Still looks really good though, like it still holds up to this time sound-wise and aesthetically.
Yeah, I have a version for Reactor. I rebuilt it from scratch in Reactor with slightly improved graphics.
So do you have like an art background too, or how are you like knowing how to make all these cool looking synths?
I'm a graphic designer by that's my profession.
Oh.
And, I actually do a lot of various stuff about graphic design, but in last maybe 5 years, maybe more, I'm having more and more clients, audio plugin developers. So
Okay.
I've designed some stuff that you probably have seen.
So you're working with people behind the scenes? Like, are these big companies or just like random developers that hit you up?
Some of them are big. Not sure how much big, but don't know if you heard about Traction.
Traction? Oh yeah, I love Traction. I've met some of them before.
Yeah, I work with them for a long time. Then
Wow.
with Matthew from Liquid Sonics, he's making high-end professional reverb plugins.
I want to hear some of that. I don't think I've seen their plugins yet.
They're very pricey.
So are you doing the coding stuff or with the graphical part or both?
No, I'm doing for them. I'm doing just graphics using Figma almost.
Okay.
Then they develop the code and stuff.
So do people come to you with like concepts already of what they want and then you figure it out, or what's like a process behind like creating a synth GUI for you?
Sometimes they already have a concept and they have some prototype, working prototype, and maybe sometimes I don't have liberty to change it much. Sometimes they ask me to offer some better solution. But for my stuff, the plugins that I made are usually stuff that exists as hardware, but I don't have access to it, and I'm interested in how those devices work. I find manual and start from there for a structure for building oscillators, filters, and effects, envelopes, and stuff like that.
Okay.
For graphics, sometimes they're inspired by device itself.
Like back in the day when you're making these graphics in Synthedit, like are you using stock modules for like the knob animations and all that? Because you have some cool like little visualizers for the oscillators and stuff. Like how are those created?
Yeah, a lot of free modules are made by just modifying what Jeff already shared. When you download the SDK, there are a lot of examples for existing standard Synthedit modules.
So like the code behind it?
Yes. And for instance, you have a frequency analyzer that looks like this and is very limited in customization. So you can't change colors here or something like that. But then I go into details and you can see how.
So this is your modified version now?
Yeah, and for instance, I add that you can turn on these scales, then set how much dB you want grid to be, then also to adjust range. It can be from 200 to 2000 hertz, so you can like zoom in to see details, and it also has better frame rate. I think 30 or 60 frames per second. This one I think has 10 frames per second. So
is that affecting speed of the plugin or is that pure visuals?
They're covered by graphics card. So
okay.
The processes for audio and graphics are split. So that's done. I guess you need some better graphic card.
Okay, so you like to make custom stuff. I know one of your big new releases for making custom GUIs and stuff is SVG Control. So
Yeah.
I've actually used the demo, and I think the knobs and everything are just really high quality and has like all the features that I personally want. So is there anything you can showcase for us and just tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah.
So we're in Synthedit 1.5 now. There's a prefab with all your SVG controls on it.
Yes.
Look how
Yes.
clean this art is. So is this like what kind of style is this? Vector or like what is this?
Yeah, we can zoom and it still stays crisp because it's vector.
Oh wow. So you have buttons and knobs. They're all vector, so they rescale nicely. What is this again? A modulation routing or something?
Yeah.
It looks so nice and it actually works. Like I can use this to route things together. Wow.
That covers the standard one, so you can pick colors and style them how you want.
So it's
For instance,
customizable even. Wow.
Each model has controls for several colors, and for instance, you can see when
Oh.
I change colors here, that's base color for like that plastic part, or I don't know. Also, I can change
The highlight
color.
or the buttons?
Yeah, like display.
That is incredibly cool. So can you make like, what's it called, skins or something? Or is this just like, how are you changing these colors? Like what is going on underneath all this?
Yeah, this is the SVG model, and you can see here it has color, then it has cap color, neon color, pointer, and print color. So
Okay.
you can connect for each control. For instance, this is connected for each of these at that base color. And when I change that affects that layer
okay.
that has that name. And
I'm already getting inspired for some ideas. And you designed all these knobs and stuff and sliders yourself? Like these are custom new stuff?
yes,
So this is your Figma project for SVG Control?
yes, and that is shared, so anyone can duplicate it to own account, and it's kind of tutorial how to actually make graphics, SVG graphics that work with SVG Control. So there are some commands that you use for transformation. Let's pick this object, and it's called handle, and in that layer name contains two commands, add move and add color. Add move means that it will react to mouse in both direction,
Oh.
X and Y coordinates. So this red dot will move like something like this.
Okay.
And the stuff that color means that if you change color, like I already showed you in Synthedit.
So was it easy for you to start making stuff with Figma? Because I've never used it before, but since I want to use SVG Control really bad, I'm gonna probably learn it. It seems pretty simple, but like, how was your experience like doing stuff like this?
For me, it was easy because I'm a graphic designer and I used Adobe Illustrator for a long time, so I'm really into vector graphics. And later I used Adobe XD, and until Figma showed up and steal the show because it was very simple at the start. Literally, there's not much going on. Most of the time, you will draw a rectangle or ellipse, which you can use keyboard shortcuts for R for rectangle, I think O for oval.
And if you wanted to make like a circle rotate or whatever, you just put @rotate and then it's like set.
Yes, this simple knob. Only pointer needs to be animated here because all other stuff is fixed. So it has command @rotate. And at color pointer, that means that if I connect cables to it and modify it will modify pointer color. So.
And how do you like lock in how much it rotates or whatever, like 45 to -45 or something? Like how would that work?
Yeah, that setting is made here. It has sweep angle.
Oh, so you do some animation in Figma, so you like set it up in Figma and then you connect it in Synthedit and like this is where you change stuff?
You can see I changed here sweep angle. And you can see that it automatically affects all objects that have rotation, even this like ring. If I can make it,
I see.
Like I can make it.
Wow.
Or I can offset it. So
this is crazier than I thought, honestly. A lot of possibilities.
Also, you can scale it. So there are some like global commands for that SVG control that are here in properties. You can also set mouse precision. Then when you hold command from fine, it will go. You can set stuff. You can set like super slow, super smooth.
So I really like the feature how it says like 100% when you're changing it. There's also like a double click feature on your knobs too, right? Or that resets it, like.
Yeah, that's made with the reset module.
So you can double click to reset. Are there any other cool features like hover over stuff, or is that a thing or no?
Yes, I think you can maybe see it here with icons when I hover over icon.
How would you change like what someone sees when they hover over it, or how does it work with that feature?
I think it's by default it's set to opacity, that change opacity of the object. Here I can change how much opacity is when it's in normal state, so I can make it even more transparent.
Oh wow.
And, there's something with now you see when I hover over that it changes.
Yeah.
Hope that you can see. And when I click, then it has a third state.
Oh.
That's yeah. Actually, I connected that to randomize settings for
the color. That's cool.
And this is the reset button that resets.
So yeah, I can tell you really thought through like all the features that developers would want with their buttons and knobs. Like I really like all the customization we got there.
Yeah, and here I started audio engine, so you can see, for instance, here like meter, how react.
Wait, how is it animating like that on the knobs? What is that?
Yeah. It has one special, one extra modulation value input. Let me just find.
Is that a visual, purely visual, or is that LFO or something?
LFO that's connected to. So this is input. This is going from audio, so you can make also stuff like that.
So there's even some little secrets in here with how powerful this thing can freaking get.
It's really complex model. A lot of stuff thrown in just one model. So when you're using standard modules, you have in subcontrols, you have separate vector bar, vector knob, and stuff like that. And I made this one that can do all of that vector stuff combined. So it requires some learning, and it's not that easy. I think tutorial is a must.
Yeah, it's definitely the dream module for me though. Like this is exactly what I want for my plugins for that HD type of look. Any last thoughts on SVG Control? Because I have a couple final questions, but I want to make sure we got all the important stuff for SVG Control because I really love it.
It was really a tough project because I need to figure out a lot of stuff. First, how to render an SVG, how to render it correctly. And then the animation part, how to make it. So I had to come up with those commands that will tell some layers to move, some to rotate, and stuff like that.
So to develop SVG Control, like what programs are you using to make something like this even come to life in Synthedit? Like it still doesn't really make sense how to go from code to like Synthedit stuff for me.
I'm using Microsoft Visual Studio. For instance, usually for audio modules, you have a function that is called subprocess. You can see it below, void subprocess. Process. And you have defined some variables that get data from pins.
Oh my gosh. That's pretty complicated coding stuff though. Like I don't think I can even comprehend all this right now. This is deep.
Yeah, it looks like that, but and I thought for a lot of years that it's complicated. I really wanted to, long time ago, to do coding, but I was afraid, and then one day during the lockdown I was bored and I was okay, today is that day when I'm gonna read the instructions on Synthedit site where how to make and it all starts from there.
Well, it's impressive what you've been able to make so fast.
Once you get into it, how for instance it's written in C++, and once you learn some basic stuff, it's really easy after that.
So you're writing it with the language of C++ inside of Visual Studio, correct?
Yes, you have in Synthedit, when you click the secondary mouse button, there's option export code skeleton.
Okay. So this is how to bring the code to life or whatever?
For instance, you can start from a module that has similar inputs and outputs, and when you go here, more build code skeleton, it actually makes all the required files for that module with set inputs and outputs. So it makes job a lot of easier. You don't have to write all that boring stuff. And like I've shown you in VS Code, usually all audio modules share the same structure. So you can see at the top initialize pins. So that's one stuff that's always repeated. Then on set pins is another section, and those values are updated on only if you, I don't know, if value is changed on some of the pins, and the audio process is in the third one, sub-process, and all of them share the same structure. So once you get used to that, there's it looks now, when you first time look at it, like it's complicated, but when you know it, it's really
Easy.
simple. Most of the work you do in sub process with calculations and stuff.
Yeah, I think custom modules and code for Synthedit is definitely like the next level up for like what I want to do. All right, I got some final questions for you to wrap this all up. So, all right, this one's kind of fun. What's up with your profile picture? Like, you use that on Synthedit and stuff? Like, what is that?
Yeah, that's me with the longer hair.
Oh, okay, yeah. It looks like that.
That's Adam from Masters of the Universe, and I don't know how old are you, and if you watched Masters of the
I
Universe.
think I've seen that character before. It looks oddly familiar. That's why I was like, what is that?
So you're young. As a kid, it was one of my favorite cartoons, and I had figures from that cartoon and stuff. And when you look at the Synthedit logo, there's lightning hitting that guy, and there's a scene from that cartoon that repeated in every episode. Even when he says, "I've got the power," then lightning strikes his sword.
Okay.
So I connected that lightning and.
Wow, that's cool actually. Okay, so do you have any favorite plugins like for anything like that?
Favorite plugins for making music in general.
Yeah, just anything you like.
I think my favorite is Reason.
Reason?
Reason Dub, yes. I don't know if you ever used it. I used it when I was making music. That was like from 2000 to 2010 maybe. I was trying to produce something listenable, and I got used to it, and it has its own instruments that are not available as plugins. For instance, Europe, I think, or Europa, I don't know how it's pronounced, is one that has a VST version, and I like that synth. It's something like Serum, how it's pronounced.
Serum?
Yeah. It's similar. It's similar technology. It's a wavetable synth, but I find it a bit simpler and easier to use, and sound is fantastic. And I love synths more than anything, and know the most. Also, few synths from also. First one was Subtractor, then Maelstrom. And I love, later Thor introduced, I don't know in which version of Reason, which was like something hybrid synth, where you have different types of analog oscillator, wavetable, FM, with several types of filters and some effects.
Yeah, I've never used the Reason plugins, but they all look really good, so it's understandable. And then last question, I guess, like, what's up with your art and music career right now? Like, are you into making art and music stuff still?
Not very much. I think last full song I made maybe 10 years ago, if not more. I was making drum and bass, techno, psychedelic trance.
I like those genres.
Usually synth based stuff. Now I'm more into listening to pop music. 80s pop is my favorite. like some of new stuff, but I don't have idea how they are making some new pop stuff like Dua Lipa. She's my favorite artist today.
Yeah.
For several years, really, first album that I was listening from start to end after maybe a decade.
Yeah, her stuff sounds good.
Her album is full of hits. So
Yeah.
usually they have 3 hits and the rest are fillers for album, but
bangers.
more than stuff. I like that. And lately, also female artist Ray from England and Tuve from Sweden. I like their music. So they are something like sound like 80s pop, but in a modern way with synthesizers and maybe some kind of disco feeling.
And then I guess I'm just really wondering, honestly, what's next with your Synthedit career? Because like I really love all the stuff you made. Like it's really cool, and I'm just wondering, what are your thoughts on all that right now?
My plan was to release all the models that I started, and first to complete some quality models like oscillators, filters, and stuff that are missing in standard, because I think Jeff created a platform that is really complex, but he can't go into details with each module and stuff like that. I understand that, so I had time to go into details, and original plan was to release those, and I didn't. I was like, I'm gonna do it in a year, then in 2 years, then in 3 years, and there's always something to improve. So maybe I go that route. Then when I have all the things that I need, quality stuff, because I like quality
Same.
quality sound, then maybe I start making plugins.
Okay. It sounds like you're gonna be around in the community, so I'm really thankful for that.
Yeah, thank you.
Any final thoughts about anything, or?
I will ask you something about you. What are you doing?
What am I doing? What do you mean? Like with synth stuff?
In general, and synth stuff.
I mean, I'm just taking over the world with art and music stuff. I'm trying to make custom plugins to have like a unique sound for my music, so that's kind of the main goal right now. And just making, I want quality too. So like I'm using your saturation for one of my new like bass plugins, and like, you know, I'm just trying to make stuff that I actually want for myself, and hopefully other people might want it. And I want it to look really cool too. That's the other thing with my plugins. I'm really into the GUI and the art. So I'm going to be using SVG Control. I'm going to be trying to make some cool custom stuff with that. And that's kind of my plans for the next couple weeks and months. But where can people follow you, or can they get your stuff from? You have a website, right?
Yes, I have website for modules. I have SASHAMODULES.com, and VST is futuretone.com. So I think that's
awesome.
That's it. I don't have my music online anymore.
Dang, deleted. Sad. Well,
yeah, I was sharing it when it was cool.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Sasha. It was an honor speaking to you and looking at your awesome stuff. Thank you.
Thank you.
Glad to meet you. Yeah, nice to meet you too. Let's go. Chase your dreams no matter what. We'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Bye.
All right.